Hello friends and welcome back to the channel. It's Malzy here, and I know it's been a minute since I recorded anything and I'm sorry, but the reason is because I've been working really hard on this house that we're going to show you today. It came out so cool. This is actually um, a house that is recreated from a very popular TV show. Can you guess who lives here? Let me give you some facts about this show before I show you what I've done. This show ran from October 4th, 1957 to June 20th, 1963. It was launched on the same day as Sputnik. It was the first TV show to actually have a toilet in the show. It was also based on real experiences. Every episode was based on a true story. It was the most expensive production of its time. The lady of the home wore pearls because she had a surgical scar on her neck. So she always wore pearls in every single episode. She also wore heels in outside of I believe it was the first season, because that way she would be taller than her children. The actor that played the father in this show also directed many episodes, and this show was aired across the United States and translated into about 40 languages, being broadcasted in around 80 countries. Even though the show is more than 60 years old, it is still popular today. I actually have become addicted to this show, so I'm going to show you their home. Now this home, as with a lot of TV homes, it changed over the course of this series. So this home was the one they lived in I believe it was first aired in season 3. Okay, so I did a lot of research on this house before I started building it, and I tried my best to stay true to the period and what was actually would have been in the house in the 1950s and early 60s. But this house is absolutely gorgeous, and see if you can guess who lives here. So here we go. Here is the house. Now this is the property that used to be the Great Charity Mansion. But as you can see, it's totally different. So we'll start with, I built a garage over here, but I usually don't do much with garages because we don't even have a lot of stuff to put in garages. So there are, in the show, there are quite a lot of scenes where the father and the children spend time in the garage. So we are going to go through the front of the house, and I'm going to show you everything. Here we are in the foyer of the home, and I forgot to shut that door. Darn it. So that leads back into the kitchen, which we will see later. But here is the foyer, and I was actually, in my research, I actually found the paintings that did hang in the foyer. Right here we have Blue Boy, and I believe this one's called the Pink Lady. These two very famous paintings were featured in the foyer of this home. And I was able to find them online, and so I put them here. In here we have a coat closet, and I put a couple coats in there. There are some limitations with, House Flipper, but I did my best. So here is the foyer, and I think it looks so cool. Coming through this way, we have the living room, which I think is beautiful. I actually really love this house. It is so pretty. Whoops, I want that to go that way. That one can go that way. These can open. So these are based on photos that I've seen online, a YouTube video that actually I based this off of a video done by, her name is Marina Coates, Coates, and she does lots of recreations of TV and movie homes. So check her out. I can't post the link to the video here because then I'll give away what house this is. But anyway, this is a little seating area here in the living room. And then of course everything revolves around the fireplace. It's beautiful. Now this is actually not anything that I found in the show. I actually own, this is a tapestry that was given to me many, many years ago. It hangs in my own personal living room. But I thought it looked really pretty here on top of this fireplace. So we have the iconic wingback chair here with the telephone, and unfortunately we can't really, this is a more modern phone than what they would have had, but it's what I have. And of course the couch, and then, you know, I didn't take the time to fill all of this with books. I did my best, but I just don't, you know, without us having stacks of books or sets of books, it's really difficult and tedious to place books in this game. That's one thing I wish we had from House Flipper 1 in House Flipper 2, but we don't. So over here is a little table, and a lot of the scenes in this show feature either the kids playing a game here or the mom and the dad reading or just sitting here and having conversations. But I love this little nook. It is so cute. And over here we have another little cabinet, but in the show this was actually a record player, and I didn't know that until very recently when I was watching this show. The older son was like lovesick and he was playing a song on the record player that is here, but we don't have that type of record player in this game, so this is what I put here instead. And of course, there's a couple of Robbie the Painter paintings in this build, because if you watch the show, there are like really nice paintings everywhere. So, gotta give credit where it's due. This is Robbie's painting, and then we have just like a little cabinet with a plant on it. Actually, in the show, it's a corner cabinet, but we don't have that here. Coming in here, we have the dining room. And again, we have, you know, sideboards, and there's another Robbie the Painter painting, and they've set the table for dinner. We've got some fish and some pierogies and some poppy seed cake. But yeah, and the reason there are only 4 chairs is because there's only 4 people in this family, so there's extra chairs here in the corner. And then we've got a a china cabinet here and another cabinet over there. I'll take you outside in a minute. This kitchen is amazing. I love this kitchen so much. It is so pretty. Now in the show, it's not quite this big. I made the house a little bit bigger than it actually would have been, but I did my best. Now in the show, the lady had a double wall oven here, and this was the best I could do with recreating the double wall oven. Over here there was a cabinet with dishes in it, and then there was another like cabinet there, and then this is the breakfast table where they would have had their breakfasts. She's got the stove here with, you know, extra counter space. The sink is over here. Now you notice I did not put a dishwasher here, and I almost did. Almost, but I'm trying to be authentic to what this show would have had and what they would have had in the 1950s. And she didn't have a dishwasher in her kitchen, so I didn't put one here, but there's an extra counter over here. And the fridge was there. Now in the show, above the fridge was an actual cabinet, but I couldn't find one that fit. Like all of them, it just looked weird, so I put the shelf here instead. And over here on this cabinet and countertop, there was a stand-up mixer, but we don't have that in the game here. And there's the door to the back of the house, the back door, and it leads to the garage. In here we have the laundry room, which I forgot to put a light in, but that's okay. But yeah, we have a laundry room with a sink. I believe she actually did have a small sink in her laundry room. And you notice I didn't use the front-loading washer and dryers because those were not invented back then. And then here's the laundry basket. It's a nice laundry room. I like it. And then coming through here is a passageway, which is kind of a weird space, I know, but this is what they had in the show. And in here is a half bath. So this is the downstairs bathroom, half bath. And then, you know, the passageway that leads back into the foyer. We'll check out this room last, but we're gonna head upstairs now. Now in this hallway, I didn't really decorate it too much, but I just kept it simple. Here is a closet where we have the vacuum. And then here is another closet that would have been like linen closet. I meant to put like cleaning supplies and stuff in there, but I forgot. So we're going to start with this room. Now this was the kids' room. There were 2 boys in this show, and this was their room. Of course, it wasn't quite this big, but again, I did my best. Each son had his own single bed. There were clown photos. Now these are not the actual photos from the show, but they were clowns on each side of the dresser, and there's the dresser there. The older boy was often seen in the show doing his homework right here in the desk, and there was lots of books and things here on this little cabinet, and then of course there was the corkboard here. And then over here we have a walk-in closet, kind of, for the boys to have their stuff, but they also had a dresser here and a dresser with a mirror here, and you can see that in the show. And they also had a connecting bathroom, and this is actually a really nice bathroom. And these are pretty, from the research that I did when I was building this, these colors, the colors throughout the whole house are fairly accurate. I tried to be as accurate as possible. So they have their double sink, they have their window here, they have their mirror. There was also a linen closet right there. And yeah, this was the kids' bathroom. Now, coming in back out into the hallway, we'll check out these rooms in a minute. So this would have been the mom and dad's room. And now, okay, in the show, any scenes that were depicted in this room, mom and dad had separate beds. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I just couldn't. You know darn well that mom and dad were not sleeping in separate beds. It's just they had to show it that way on TV. So there were not many scenes shot in the parents' bedroom, and because this room is so massive, I had to kind of like imagine what it might have looked like. So I know there was a dresser here with a mirror. They had a closet that was a walk-in closet here. And then they had a dresser here, but just because there's so much wall space, I put in a chair and a couple extra tables just because. And then this would have been their bathroom. So again, they've got the double sinks, the mirror. I put the dad's shaving stuff in here. The tub, and then this room has actually a separate shower, because that's what I noticed in the video that I'm referencing this build off of. But the weird thing is that this door also leads back to the boys' bathroom, so don't even ask me why they had access to both bathrooms. I have no idea. But yeah. But what I found really strange in all the research that I did was that the other 2 bedrooms do not have access to a bathroom. So if they have guests, the guests would either have to go through the mom and dad's room or the kids' room to get to a bathroom that has a shower, which is really strange. Now, this room and this room were never shown on the show, and it's because there was no point, right? There was no point. These are extra bedrooms, guest bedrooms, but you know that they exist because obviously the house is two-story and it's a very large home even for um, the late 50s, early 60s. And of course, this was a upper middle class family, so they had some money. And so their house was very large. So we know these rooms existed even though we didn't ever see any scenes shot in here. So I had to imagine what they might look like. So I gave this one as an extra bedroom. This is a guest bedroom. So I gave this person a desk and like a typewriter and some extra storage and a nice bed. And there is a walk-in closet here. And I know this window seems a little bit low, but it's because I couldn't move it because of the dormers outside of the front of the house. So if you look out there, that's the front of the house. So here is the guest bedroom. And then the final bedroom, I've actually turned into like Mom's retreat room and like her sewing room and her retreat room. So she's got her sewing machine because of course you know a housewife in the 1950s, you know she was doing some mending and some sewing and probably made clothes for her children, and I just tried to make this room like super comfortable. She's got her sewing machine. She might have made her own dresses. I put this rack here, and one thing that the developers, Debs, if you're seeing this, you need to make it to where we can hang stuff on this clothes rack, because that's a really big missed opportunity. Anyhow, I put a radio in here just because, you know, maybe she was wanting to listen to music while she's sewing or doing whatever. But on this side of the room is like a reading nook. I didn't put any books in here, but you know, just an area for her to sit and relax. And because this room is purple, I put an owl in here. This is an homage to my friend Irene's grandmother. Her name was Hedwig, and she loved owls. But yeah, so I imagined this room because, you know, the mom of the family, she was the only girl in the house. So this is like her retreat room. This is what I imagined. Like if I was the lady of the house, I would love to have this. And I did this. I used the yoga mats because they kind of resemble bolts of fabric. And then there's an extra sewing machine there, and she's got a hope chest. So this is what I imagine those two rooms look like. I tried to keep the colors of the home true to what was in the show, even though it was black and white. Oh, that's another fact. It was always shot in black and white, but you know, there were colors on the set. So the final room is here, and this was the father's den, his office. This is what he always, there were quite a lot of scenes shot in here. But this was the father's office. And here's another painting. This actually hangs in my living room. This is another painting that I have this. It's in my living room. And yeah, this was the father's area. If you look at the show, this whole back wall was lined with bookshelves and books. And so that's, I mean, obviously, you know, we don't have stacks of books in this game, so I just put like other stuff there just to kind of fill the space so that it's not empty. But yeah, this is where the dad would sit to do work from home if he needed to. He had a job at, I'm using air quote, the office. It's never really revealed what he does, but in my research, I believe he was an engineer. So his den had, you know, it was all wood panels, and in some episodes there was a globe here and no chairs, and in some episodes, later episodes, that there was a TV set right here. But this is the dad's den, and he did a lot here. So let me tell you, let me ask you, have you figured out who lives here? Well, here we go. Yes, friends, this is the house from Leave It to Beaver, and Ward, June, Wally, and Beaver Cleaver live here. I love how this house came out. It's taken me about 2 weeks to put it together and a lot of research. But I love this show. It's such a good family show. It's actually really, really funny if you watch episodes of it. And it's funny without being profane or lewd or, it's just a good wholesome family show. I really like this show a lot. I've been watching it a lot lately. But yeah, the Cleavers live here. This is the house from Leave It to Beaver. Now, like I said, this is the house they had, I believe, in the beginning of season 3. So this was not the original house from season 1. But oh man, I love this house so much. And you guys know how much I love an open floor plan, but I don't mind that the kitchen is closed off in this house. I just love it so much, and I worked really hard for this to get this house the way that it must have been or may have been back if the Cleaver family was real and they did live here. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and sell it right now. So we're gonna go ahead and sell this house. I paid $315,000, sold $182,000 worth of stuff, spent 329 grand on the renovation. So we are all in for $462,000. We are going to sell the house to Mr. Lewis Williams. He's the winner. He's gonna pay us $827,400, and we're gonna have a profit of 364 grand. Yeah. So here we go. Enjoy your house, Mr. Williams. Here's the before and afters. That was the original, and that's what it looks like now. Quite a change, as you can see. Oh shoot, I just realized I forgot to take you outside. There really wasn't anything out there on the back patio, just a barbecue and a chair. I mean a barbecue and a picnic table. That was it. Really, there's really nothing else to see there. You might see it here. Oh no. Oh, you kind of see it there. Picture. But that's it. I didn't do anything special. And that's it, friends. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye!